Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
What's going on, everybody?
Joined by Kyle Petty, host of the Kyle Petty Show and the Strat Chat podcast.
Hello.
We are back. Love is Blind, season 7, one of our favorites to talk about. And I'm just going to say right off the top, a lot to talk about from week 1. We have currently right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 couples that made it to the honeymoon. One couple that didn't even make it out of the room. We're going to touch on all that, lead with all that. But guys, I just want to say, I think it's a good start to the season. A little bit different than some of the other seasons, very couple focused. There wasn't a lot of guesswork involved in who was going to be with who. I think it was pretty well telestrated. But overall, I really enjoyed it. And I think we're left with some good drama, especially with some of the stable couples that we might have thought. So, Brian, start with you, then Kyle, just overall impressions, and then we're going to move right into the Brittany and Leo of it all.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I agree with you. I thought it was good start. Being the seventh season, it's nice to see it like kind of being consistent with the drama. And like you said, like that was a good point. Like there was a couple couples I was like, oh, I don't see any drama happening. And then of course see the preview, and every couple that I thought was good looks like they're being the worst. So I'm excited for that. The one thing I will say is I just wish we saw a little more of the individuals that didn't make it, because I feel like in other seasons they did a better job. We comment about that every time on episode 1. It's just unfortunate. I think the cast members all deserve at least 30 seconds of screen time, at least in confessional. So that's my
Kyle, your first time reviewing the show with us. What were your impressions of week 1?
This show is too long.
This was the longest beginning ever, though.
Yes.
Every episode.
Why do we have these 1-hour episodes? You're not showing me anything different. I don't need to sit through countless affirmations, between everybody. I love you. Are you sure you love me? You're gonna love me forever. Do you love me? I don't know. You're not my father yet. It's like enough. It's like I didn't need an hour of that, especially if I'm not going to get to meet the people who don't get to go any further. So I definitely grew a little weary by the end of like episode 5. But these people are exciting. I guess it's it's been a decent time.
I want to start, like we said, we have 7 couples off the bat, and we are going to discuss all of them in detail, but I have a hard time not getting past Brittany and Leo. Leo, I've never had someone have such a sad story that I don't feel an ounce of sympathy for. Everybody has cancer. Mom had cancer, dad had cancer, stepdad had cancer, grandma, grandpa, and then he inherits this business. It sounded like a royal succession, like 19 people had to go for him to get the money, but he got the money. And he comes in there, man, and all he does is talk to the guys about the money he's got. It's the first thing he's leading with on all the dates. He yells at Hannah for picking somebody else. Then he picks Brittany, who obviously is a gold digger. And then after all of that, they get back together. Brittany says yes because she wants to be on the show. And Netflix goes, nah, you're not going on the honeymoon. I'm sorry, Netflix. We just spent 4.5 hours with this guy. And for better or worse, I want to see this thing through now. I don't want to see him at a mixer. I don't want to see him episode 8 where they cut to them at a effing cafe in DC and talking. I don't want it. I want to see him get dumped on his honeymoon. I wanted her to tell him that, yo, you're not that attractive. I'm not signing a prenup. I needed that. I thought they were setting all that up for us to cut that bastard down, and we got nothing.
Yeah, that was definitely probably the biggest shock of all the seasons we've ever watched. I thought they were a staple with the amount of time we spent on them. And just another thing, I kept thinking of a Bruce Wayne I didn't like. Also, how he his parents all died.
I was calling him Harry Potter.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible to make jokes about that, but that's what I was thinking. And man, I thought he's the biggest ultimate loser. He to me has never been in a situation where 2 girls are into him and he didn't know how to handle it. And that's kind of
one girl being into him.
Yeah, he just and the kids say this. I don't think he had any riz at all.
No riz.
He had none of it. Just every convo, nothing. And and just even when he finally met Brittany, he's like, I need to kiss you. I need to kiss you. I was just like, can't you tell that she's not into you? She's just not that into you.
That's what I was gonna say. I would really counter with, I think 0 girls were into him. He came into this entire thing saying I want to be here because I don't want people interested in me for my money. but then he went into every interaction telling people that he had money. And then it's like, now you want to be surprised that this girl who told you she's really just looking for her lifestyle to be extended and continued. Oh, no, well, I can't believe she doesn't like me. And now all of a sudden you're shocked that she doesn't really want anything to do with you once like you got engaged. The whole thing was just, oh. And the Hannah thing, okay,
Yes.
that had nothing to do with like, Hannah not knowing what she wanted, anything like this. He was not happy with the fact that he was not going to have a choice at the end of this. That's what that was. Honestly, like, just vile and disgusting. Like, I found all of his behavior like absolutely repulsive.
Like the Hannah point, like
Terrible.
he's drilling her, being like, well, what if I had asked you first? And then he actually, this was next level gaslighting. He's talking about Nick, and he goes, Nick is only talking to you, right? He's only focused on you. He doesn't even know what else is out. It's like, that's a positive.
That was crazy.
That's a positive, bud. You're going
pushing me in his arms.
Like, before this conversation, you were number 2 in the power rankings. Now you're number 1. Let's see how my dinner goes tonight with Brittany. It's like, kick rocks, loser. Like, I think Netflix finally, somebody was just like, I don't like this kid.
That's the real reason why they didn't get to go any further. Production was like, I can't film this guy.
Because Kyle, they've done this before. There've been reveals where the guy or the girl, and usually it's the girl seeing the guy, and they're like, oh, I'm not attracted to you, not what I thought. But they didn't show that. They just didn't let her, they kind of left her being like, what did I do? And that was it. It should be like, I'm not into him. I just don't want, I hope maybe, like, again, I said I don't want to see them in their coffee shop, but some form of explanation outside of having to go, like you said, Kyle, and read like an article about it. I want some in canon explanation.
Hopefully,
that's coming. Yeah,
hopefully we get that when they do show up at the post, like the DC mixer. Like when you're like, I don't want to see him. I want to see him in the beach mixer. That's what I want to see, because I want to see her catch some eyes for somebody else. And I know you called her gold digger, but at least she was honest about what she wanted. I know she was kind of annoying, but she said what she wanted, and she stuck to what she wanted. So
I'll give her that.
It's all. I mean, if he wants to deal with it, that's his problem. But
we want prenup. We want prenup. Yeah.
So Nick's last name was Dorka, right?
Dorka.
And that should honestly be Leo's last name, because he's a dork.
Oof.
Transitioning with Hannah, what did you guys think? Oh, wait. Last thing I wrote down about Leo, when he met Brittany, how he's holding the back of her head.
Yeah. Like,
it's just all control and weirdness and spoiledness to me. It just reeked of weirdo. Sorry if you're watching.
I wonder, honestly, if like production was like, okay, I don't know if we want to deal with this. Might be, I don't want to do it. They said they went to. It said they went to Miami, so I wonder if they actually made it there. But again, I'm with you. I want to know what happened. Like, they need to come up on screen and give us the deets, because it said, like, I think like 2 weeks, right? Like, it was like a couple of weeks after
they said a few weeks. Yeah.
Hopefully, a few is like what, 1 to 3.
I'd say.
Yeah, so hopefully, like, that timeline of when we see the mixer might actually mesh with us getting the information, maybe even live and raw.
What do you guys think of Nick?
Again,
Nick Hannah.
I don't like him.
What do I think of him? I mean, the one thing I can say about Hannah is, like, I think he said he was a football player, right? I think he said to somebody that he was a punter. That was one of the girls that we didn't see a lot of. I'm going to look her name up in a second, and then I understand if you're like saying I'm a big football player, this is who I am, and then you're a punter. I get if she was like expecting something and then it's completely different. Like, that's the only thing I'll say maybe good about her.
Yeah, look, it was what she was afraid of. It's someone who Hannah, obviously, she mentions that she's been working on herself. She had lost the 40 pounds prior to the show. Still kind of expressing maybe the insecurity of not wanting to be big compared or taller than the guy she's with. And that's fine. That's all preference, right? From the second she saw him, it's like, this is not, she wanted to feel like feminine with the guy. And this dude, all she's feeling is checklisting. Because let's get right to it, man, because not for nothing, I didn't mind her at all. I thought she was pretty honest and straightforward, held her own. She was even a kind of a girl's girl with Brittany and filling her in about, like, hey, look, this dude is possessive, by the way, just heads up. For her to list a list of grievances about this guy and leave it on his bed, on his like pillow, like a love note, but it's just a hate note. If I was him, man, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I probably would have rolled. I would have been out. No, I've known you for a day.
Yeah,
Please
I don't know
speak. I'm
what
waiting
that.
for you to speak.
I just feel like Nick just kept acting as if he was like the bomb.com.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, look at me. Aren't I great? Aren't I great? I'm everything you ever could have like imagined, right?
I'm
I'm like,
hard
oh,
work.
oh." Yeah, it's just disgusting. Like, like I can't stand when people act like that. And I don't know. I know it's jumping around now, but there's something else about Britney too. I think we transitioned a little bit too quickly.
That's okay.
It does. No, it does kind of, and it does kind of tie in because when Britney came in from that date with Leo and I kind of like slipped his name, it's like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. Yes, you absolutely did.
Yep.
Like, because the way that she reacted to herself saying it after the fact felt so contrived. She's like, oh, I just came back from Leo. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. It's like, that was too fast. You didn't think about that. You always intended to do that because you're insecure yourself and you are now looking for somebody else to validate you or something. You wanted to start all this stuff. I don't
Oh,
know, everybody involved in that entire thing was just so icky.
I agree. She was trying to make an insecure person feel more insecure as well. And
Yep.
she obviously, I agree, is insecure, but she was basically trying to say, like, oh, by the way, I'm into the same dude, so you got no shot.
Yeah.
That's what that
Yeah.
was. And
Mhm.
I dare to argue with anyone in the comments who say that like that
Yeah.
is just a pure accident.
No, that was not that was not
It's
an
coming.
accident. It
Oh,
wasn't an
that'll
accident.
definitely be there.
Yeah, that
No,
was not an
another
accident.
thing.
And that could have also contributed though to why Hannah was the way that she was or is being
Yeah,
or
maybe.
something. And I just
What
that's the
do you
most
think
I
about
can give
Nick
her.
also saying like, I don't want to say certain things because it's my brand? That's when he really took a nosedive for me. Like you came on this show, my guy.
Ugh.
And again, what would he have said to have ruined his brand?
Yeah, what exactly? What is your perception of your brand? I'd love to know. I'm not high on it.
I'm
So,
sure somebody will tell. Again, we didn't look at anything about these people
mm-mm.
post watching the
No.
show and pre,
No.
so that's always the fun part of the comments. So if anybody has any information about any of these people, please pop it in. Because I'm really that the scary part about watching the show is like the people you like, you find out like stuff about them that you don't want to find out about, and it can like ruin the watching experience for the next
Yeah,
couple.
you can't look into
That's
people.
gonna be that's also just also it's good and it's bad. Like it's fun. You know, people are just like just all over reading stuff on the internet. It's fun. It's we're gonna talk about it in a couple weeks too, Bill. Something's gonna come up where somebody's got like a kid with another woman and all this
Oh yeah, because
crap.
you
And
can't stay away from it.
did you
I want to go into some other couples here too. I'm going to go with Taylor and Garrett. Uh, the physicist, Garrett, the
Mhm.
physicist.
Yeah.
I like their interplay. I thought that this was one of the more just genuine dating and kind of back and forth, give and take. Uh, so far, so good. I don't have anything negative to say about them, which on this show is pretty much a positive.
Yeah, I think I like her a little more than him, but I agree with you. This is one that unless my memory is not serving me correctly, I can't think of something that like even a topic where it was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. Kyle, please.
Well, I dissent again. I'm not sure about the two of them because I do feel like he used the word calculated with her more than once, and like
That's true.
yeah, and I feel that that word has a little bit there's a
Wait.
negative connotation with that. Yeah, and like it does feel like she is definitely like he like not to literally use his words or like presenting this curated version of
Yeah.
herself. And even when you're watching their interactions, it almost feels she seems kind of cold, but I don't really think that she's a cold person. I'm thinking that you're coming off cold
The
because there's
situation.
things about you that you're holding back. Yeah, and that would make me just feel uncomfortable. So I don't know, not crazy high on them either. I don't have anything positive or negative really to say about Garrett. I like whatever.
My rebuttal to
Um,
that is the coldness is again, it's a TV show where you just got married. You're gonna get married after seeing someone for 12 hours. So maybe
yeah, but I
those
also
walls are up.
I didn't feel a great deal of warmth even in the
Even
pods.
the
Like,
conversations. Okay,
yeah,
that's
it's
fair.
one thing to prepare like a little writing that you want to read the next day. She didn't just have that though. She had a binder. It was
Well,
hole
it's all
punched.
God, that's all bullshit. It's all BS. They all
No,
Weren't
bring
they
I
the ones that
trinkets
were
and
I
calling
know, but
themselves a situationship?
mm-hmm.
yeah, because didn't
I
he
think
he
so.
wanted to they wanted to be like boyfriend girlfriend, right? Isn't that what it was?
Yeah, he sent the sunflowers and the
Sunflowers.
yes or
Yeah,
no
Hmm.
everybody brings
checkbox.
those because remember Jess brought that one like love note to her future husband that give poor man's Christian McCaffrey last season. They must come up with like, hey, bring something that's gonna make people like a moment that you have with these weird notes and these
I don't
letters
like
to
it.
dads, and
And
it's all
bracelets and all this jewelry
it just
stuff.
goes right through me. I don't see
Yeah.
any
Keep your
like,
family heirlooms at
yeah,
home, people.
Yes.
because the
Keep
And
your
one
it
thing,
love
has
letters from
zero
World War II.
significance.
Keep your grandfather's ring, your
yeah,
mother's wedding dress. Like,
Right.
leave
I'm
it
just
all at
like
home.
your mother's wedding dress. It's like
Leave it all
I
at home.
wonder what your grandfather thinks of somebody that you met on Monday and you're giving his stuff away on Thursday.
right,
Like he's
yeah,
probably like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah.
I'm glad that you're excited, but slow your roll. That's my shit, man.
Yeah, my grandpa would understand this because he couldn't see his love too. Your grandpa was like in a war. He was in
Yeah.
another country, like
Mhm.
in the 50s, not in a pseudo
In a
hotel.
pod.
Like,
He wasn't fighting the
not
war
in
in
a
pods
bunker.
over there.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh Christ.
Like it.
All right, moving on.
Mm.
Ashley and Taylor. Uh Again, one of the ones I think overall was presented positively. They seem to be vibing with one another. We've seen some stuff in the previews, so we will see. But as of the first 6 episodes, Ashley and Tyler, not too bad.
I agree, but I'm waiting for Kyle to have something on his checklist to bring us right back down to earth, right?
No, this one I kind
Yeah.
of like.
You like that?
I like that they pray together. I think that's nice.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of their real life things, at least right now, are aligning. Like I think you definitely will get challenged later on when we actually start to meet some other people. But I think it's good that they had conversations like that and they seem to be on the same page. They seem encouraging.
So this is the couple that if something comes out about either of them, I'm gonna be disappointed.
Devastated.
This
Yeah.
is probably my number one couple currently.
Yeah.
I like both of them probably the most. So this is what I'm worried about. I'm worried if something will come out about someone of them.
Of concerns.
I have some couples coming up that I do have some complaints about now. Let's start with. All right, I want Alexandra and Tim. They were so straight the whole 6 episodes. And this is vintage Love is Blind. They always drop some bomb on one of the good couples at the end of the episode 6. And apparently, after the pool party, they came back, and Alexandra, from what we were able to pick up through in context clues, got in his face, was calling him something other than his name, and his character was being questioned.
And she apparently put her hand over his mouth and like didn't allow him to speak, whatever that was. Yeah.
Why don't we get to see this shit?
Right. When they were talking about it, I was so confused. I went back. I said, wait, did I miss that somehow? They're looking at my phone. How did I miss?
Like, why is he not going to come in?
Yeah, I mean, not going to come in, and you could already feel the energy, like the vibes were way off. He's like, "Hey, how are you?" And she's like,
He's like
good.
90.
And I was like, "Wait," I was like, "What is this?" I was like, "What happened here?" Like, I was so confused.
It reminded me of the principal, Brian. Was that last season or the season before? You know what I'm talking about? Where like they were all perfect
with
and
Sarah,
good,
or
and then
whatever
he's
her
just
name
like,
was.
"I hate you."
Yes, I remember them.
I want to know. I know we'll never get an explanation from Netflix, but like how are the most interesting things that have like the two most interesting things that happen, the couple not making it and this big fight are not on screen. I watched 4.5 hours today.
Well, I'm hopeful that their fight will be shown like next week.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh no.
Nah.
It's gonna what is it like
my balloon was barely inflated and you
I'm sorry. I mean,
it before I even walked out the house.
I've seen this show too many times, and they're not going to show.
I don't think it's going to be like the beginning of the Two Towers. We get to watch how Gandalf fought the Balrog.
Like a different viewpoint.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is like Big Brother. Here's what you missed.
Yeah, exactly. Previously on Love is Blind.
Yeah.
And the thing about this show is like, there's certain people, like couples, where they're like literally about to like fornicate, and they're like, "Hey, shut the lights off for us," and then this couple isn't shown walking away from the mixer. Like, I agree with you. It doesn't make any sense that we don't see those moments. And I'm also wondering maybe if what she was called, they were calling him or yelling at each other. That's why they cut it out.
I had some ideas.
Just
so, you know, it might not have been appropriate for Netflix. We'll see. So we had a pseudo triangle. This wasn't a very dramatic triangle. So the couple being Marissa and Ramses. We also had Bodon, who was the third member of the triangle there, pursuing Marissa. I'm going to tell you what, man. Keep politics out of my Love is Blind. I don't want to hear who you voted for. I don't care why you voted for Trump and then you didn't. I that crap was just like too much.
I thought that was
Oh, that's the other one.
it's
That's the other one.
But they
Anyway,
did talk about politics too. He did mention politics, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, well,
Yeah, they
Monica
did
and Steven
discuss it.
too dipped
Yeah.
into that. We'll get into them next, but I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I
Yeah.
want to hear if you got cheated on. I want to hear goofy stories. Like, shame on you, Nev. You had time for the politics talk, but we didn't have time to watch a fight.
Right.
Not my Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. I don't want to hear any of that. I do have a bone to pick with Marissa here, and it was something obviously in my mind is very egregious. The Adam Sandler versus Will Ferrell.
Oh yeah.
That when she was like Adam Sandler is the funniest guy ever, I almost shut the screen down.
Wow.
That
Are you
is
a big anti Adam Sandler, or you just don't think it's the greatest like guy ever type thing?
I just think he's one of the most unfunny people that's famous on TV. I don't need to watch fart jokes and him being the same character like a dumbass all the
Yeah.
time. Kyle, I'm very interested. For somebody who doesn't like Shrek, what are your viewpoints on Adam Sandler?
I think he's terrible.
Thank you. Let's high five together down here. I'm below.
Yeah, I
his.
mean, I'll high five, but I will also tell you that I don't like Will Ferrell
That's
either.
fine. That's fine.
Sorry,
That's fine.
I think that the very clear answer was the one that was not listed.
Which is neither.
Option C, neither.
I'm fine with that. Will Ferrell's definitely an acquired taste for weirdness. I think, but to say that Adam Sandler is funnier is to me it's blasphemy.
They're super unfunny. I'd rather sit in silence than watch either one of their movies.
She could have said like, "Hey, I like Happy Gilmore better than any Will Ferrell movie," or I like Billy Madison. But to objectively say now in 2024 that Adam Sandler is still funny, he hasn't done a funny movie in like a decade.
And I think what makes Adam Sandler movies funny is not even him.
Yeah, his movies are. See, that's like their distinction. Like his movies are funny. Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I mean, I'm like,
we're gonna get blasted. People are,
yeah, I don't really care.
Happy Gilmore's coming out.
If people know, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna watch Happy Gilmore, but I mean, was it Chubbs? Chubbs was the guy who was training him, right? With the
it's all in the hips.
Yeah, there's so much. Yeah, and Shooter McGavin, way funnier than Adam Sandler.
I mean, literally, even Ben Stiller steals the show as the nurse.
Yeah, Ben Stiller is very funny.
My fingers hurt. Well, now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. It's like, okay. So we kind of mentioned them a little bit, so we can transition over to Monica and Steven. Kyle, I'm interested on your take on Steven. Steven found out that he's black, and that became the whole topic of the entire thing.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I don't think that is neither here nor there. Like, great.
So funny.
Yeah, just the two of them. I get weird vibes with them too. Like, there's something about Monica that also
pissed off.
Yeah, like she's always seems to be like just a little perturbed. Yeah, I don't know.
Kind of reminds me a little bit with that aspect.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the energy between them is weird. I'm not really sure that they say nice things to each other. Like on paper, it looks nice, but I don't.
Is this one of the ones that annoyed you with the my love and?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And then they had that little conversation on the couch where like she felt like he was taking up too much space, saying too many things, and then his eyes were like it looked like they were like watery. And he's like, "Well, I love you. I love you. Do you remember I love you?" And she's like, and it's like,
I wonder if that conversation was edited down.
I would have to. It had to be. It had to be because his eyes were like super red. And I don't
want to
know because you were drinking or had you been crying in the midst of this. It also could have been both.
Yeah, I want to know. Like, I want her to elaborate a little more if that like conversation comes up again next week. I'm curious if she thinks he's just too emotional and he's talking about too many feels, or if she just thinks he just doesn't shut the hell up in general, and she's just like, I don't think I can live with you because you are already annoying the hell out of me. That's the vibes that I got. I'm not feeling too hot on them. I think she's going to, he is just going to grate on her. Whether or not that's right.
Yeah.
I think she'll be the body language.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's wrong. I mean, I think that these are the things that we come to find out when we actually meet each other. You know, you can have a conversation at any point, and like once you're actually occupying the same space is when you get to know how this person handles those little moments, like those silences. And if you're always just going to fill it with random chatter, yeah, I would probably be pretty annoyed too. Like, do you ever stop? Is this a conversation or are you just talking at me? But I feel like I also didn't see enough of their interactions to really be able to, like, I don't know, kind of determine that for myself, which is kind of just going by with what they said. I didn't get the feeling that he was necessarily doing that. But again, you're not seeing every portion of these conversations.
Yeah, because you saw 4.5 hours of Leo and Brittany.
Yeah, which turned out to be completely unnecessary, unless it isn't. Like,
I mean, I can get behind that.
What are they going to do? None of us are rooting for them. So what? We got to reconcile? Like,
no, we're not rooting for them. But like, if there's something else like to be seen, and maybe they show up later on, and there's a whole big thing.
And his art gallery.
No thanks.
That's what the mixer's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, I would die. I would die. Kyle, every time we review Love is Blind, we now do what we call the how sure are they rankings. So we're going to run through the couples and you're going to give me one of three answers. They're a sure thing, they're in limbo, or they are DED dead.
Okay. All right.
All right, guys. First up, Taylor and Garrett.
I'm going to say limbo.
Yeah, I think limbo too.
I'm going to, You know what? I believe in love. I'm going to go Taylor and Garrett as a sure thing.
Whoa.
I'm going to, as one of them said, I'm not a gambling person, but I'm going to put some money on it.
Okay. Well,
Kyle's eyes went, whoa.
Whoa.
I just feel like I almost I could even get behind if there were 5 options, something in between limbo and sure thing. I don't know how you can say anything too definitive about people like this.
It's a gut feeling thing.
That was that meme or the guy where he's like the blinking guy. That was his eyes.
The Dexter one.
Like, okay.
Those eyes.
All right.
All right, man.
All right, moving on.
That was perfect.
Ashley and Tyler.
I guess sure thing.
Is this the couple I like?
Yes.
Yeah, then that's my sure thing.
Okay.
I think they persevered.
Pretty consensus. I agree, actually. I think they're probably the only 2 couples that frankly make it through the show, if 2 couples even make it through. Hannah and Nick. Do any of us even need to answer anything other than D,
dad?
No.
Done.
It looks like, honestly, was Nick talking to Brittany in the pods?
Was Nick
yes.
Yeah, so the mixer is going to be fun for these fringe couples, like the flirting, what's going to happen there. It looks like Nick is talking to Brittany. That may throw Hannah in a tailspin.
Monica and Steven.
Limbo.
Yeah, limbo.
Limbo for sure. As limbo as you can get. Alexandra and Tim. I want to get your guys' opinion. I know what I think.
Alexandra and Tim. Although that was the one with the fight that we didn't get.
Fight at the end.
It's looking DED to me.
I don't even think they're going to make it through episode 7.
Yeah, they're donezo. They are so donezo. This dude is got and guess what, guys? It came up in this episode. The guys can get the ick. He's got the ick on her right now. He doesn't talks, all that crap, how she acted. You can tell he's probably dealt with that in the past, and he's just kind of like, nah.
I'm just not here for it. And not for nothing, I also thought that she kind of invaded his space a little bit towards the end of that conversation, because she said, come closer. And he said, I would rather not. So then she went to him, and I'd be like, no, I didn't have an objection to physically moving. I have an objection to being physically close with you.
My wife did that before.
Exactly. It's not that I couldn't move over. I don't want to touch you right now. So then she comes over and not only gets underneath him, right? Because his leg was crossed. So his knee is like over the other thigh, and she got underneath it. And then she touched his face. And you see him, he didn't move at all. He just sat there like,
he's like,
and I was like, oh, I was like, please cut away. I said, I can't look at this anymore.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah,
I think that's the first one done.
First one done. Yeah.
We also have a last one, Marissa and Ramses.
Did we even talk about Ramses? I kind of
No, we kind of focus more on the Bodon stuff. Ramses, I'm sorry. This is a stupid like criticism. I just hate that name. It's a goofy ass name.
Um, he
King
he
Ramses.
seemed like a fine dude. I just, again, it was the Leo Britney show, so we didn't get to see a lot of these people like that much at all. So I mean, I'm gonna just put them in limbo.
I'm putting them in limbo too because I feel that Marissa, while I think that the energy between her and Ramses, I think was better than what she had with Bodon. That's how you say his name,
Yeah,
Bodon.
Bodon. Yeah.
I definitely think that their energy seemed to be a little bit more playful. It's a little bit brighter. She seems very exhausting to me. She feels like way too much. Like she's always on 11, and it's like, do you ever take it down? Like she's very loud and up to the point of shrieky, just very excited all the time. And it's just like, oof, oof. If this is what it always is, I don't see that being. I don't see Ramses being on that level all the time, even though their energy matched better than with
I think the
Bodon.
astrological talk will exhaust him too.
Ugh.
And if
I
anybody
think
knows
the
what
mixer is
Cancer,
going to ruin their shit. I
if
think
anybody
that
knows what Cancer Leo is, put it in the comments below, please.
I
Yeah,
think Marissa didn't pick Bodon literally because Bodon was in the military, even though she was in the military, which was a very funny, goofy, like I like that he responded right back. He's like, "But you were what?
Yeah, right.
What are you talking
There's a
about?"
lot of people in the military on this version.
There was. But I have a feeling that, and we saw a little preview. She might like Bodon a little bit once she actually gets to see him in person. We do get that clip where asks him, "Would you have proposed?" And he said immediately yes. And I'm wondering if maybe Ramses is going to be a little bit less gung ho, and then she starts to be like, "Damn, maybe I got rid of." Not saying that she'll even end up with Bodon, but like you said, Kyle, she seems super gung ho about everything, and I think she may misconstrue people just having some natural hesitance as not aligning. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe the yin and yang type of thing will work there, but I'm not really. I didn't pick the vibe up that they were just like instant soulmates.
No, I feel like we didn't see him that much either. Like they were only really showing us Ramsey like episode 3, 4 on. That's it.
They swerved us a little bit in this week, man. They put a lot of time in the people that were not like going to get either. You know what I mean? They
Two
said
people, you mean?
Bodon. I mean, you could objectively say Bodon was one of the maybe top 5 to 6 people featured. Like he was in a lot of stuff. He was in the dates. They showed him in the. They showed him in the. He definitely was the #1 featured guy that wasn't picked. I would say, right?
Yeah, I
That's
mean
the
that's
thing
it.
that Brian's brought up on other seasons. We don't get enough of the singles. They could have a whole other show about the people that are left over and have them do their own damn season or go do we joked about doing a Love is Blind in Paradise. Like if
That's
you
what they
didn't get
should
picked
do.
on Love is Blind, you should go get another chance at
Well, yeah.
love. Why the hell not? You do perfect match on this channel and you bring assholes that have been on 17 shows.
Yeah, right. Right. I mean, it's getting they're polluting that show even
With
more
Bachelor.
than they did with Two Out to Handle, and now we got the Blake. Is it Blake Muniz? Is that his name?
Moines.
Moines. Who that guy's a big. When that season comes out, man, I'm gonna be fired
He's
up.
on our top 5 hate list on this channel for sure.
Yeah.
Right up there with his ex-girlfriend.
Right.
Katie Thurston, if anybody watching is a Bachelor Nation fan, we had to watch her on multiple shows too that we didn't want to see her on. So at least they didn't put her on that show, Brian. I want to wrap it up, guys. I thought there's a lot of stuff here to talk about. I like that we all have mixed opinions on everyone. It's going to make covering the next few weeks a lot of fun. Everybody who's watching, please let us know if you think we're wrong on comments. If you let us know who your favorite couples are, your least favorite couples are. Just fill us in. We really enjoy the conversation around this show. Kyle, before we go though, what is going on over in your side of the world?
Well, Strat Chat is going to be at 10:15 tomorrow because Big Brother is 2 hours, unfortunately. Far too much, far too much. Thank you to the summit for pushing us back. And then Monday, we're still continuing to carry the torch with Survivor 47 and Challenge 40. So yeah, that's our big 3.
As far as reality guys stuff tonight, you will have this review out here on Wednesday, October 2nd, same night that the premiere comes of season 7. Also look out later in the evening. We will have the Golden Bachelorette week. What are we at? Week 4 now, Brian?
I think it's week 3.
week 3. It feels like 12.
Yeah.
We're on week 3 of that. And also we are covering Survivor 47. So we will be back with that review probably tomorrow morning as well. So make sure you like and subscribe. You won't miss any of our content. But until next time, for myself, Brian, Kyle, thank you so much for watching. Peace.